object and how you can create an object. Okay, so now we have another important function. See, I told you that a class contains fields and methods. I told functions are called as methods. Functions, whatever you used to earlier call as functions, they are now referred to as methods. So a constructor is also a method, but this is not a constructor. This is a method called as show. Okay, along with this method, I can also use another method. Okay, that method is given a special name. That method is called as a constructor. So what is a constructor? Before giving this particular definition, let me go to this particular example directly. Okay, see here, there is a class called as PGM6. Okay, this is the class name. See here, intentionally I am using two words. Okay, PGM and 6 are the two words that are there. As per the convention, okay, if more than one word is there, see, every word must have a capital letter at the beginning. You see, therefore, that's the reason why I have followed the convention. Okay, and I have used a capital P here and a capital S here. Even if you write all lowercase, no problem, but others will find it difficult. Okay, so you have to follow the conventions that are followed by Java programmers all over the world. So your program, if you are following those common set of conventions which are followed by everyone, your programs will be easily read and understood by other programmers also. So that's the reason why you have to follow same conventions as that of the programmers other Java programmers who are writing Java applications. Okay, now you have a class called as PGM6, and here there are two fields. The names of the fields are X and Y. Okay, and here you see there is a void show function. Okay, this void show function has some line. Let us discuss about that line later on. There is one method, two fields are there, and see there are actually two classes. This is one class from, okay, from the top to this particular portion is one class, and there is another class. How many classes can be there in a single program? Okay, there can be more than one class. And remember, okay, let me just remember one particular point. The file name, you are free to choose whatever name you want to use for the class. You are free to choose whatever name you want to use. But the file name, while saving, you are supposed to use the same name as that of the class. Okay, here now, if suppose only one class is there in the program, then you can save the file as okay, this particular pgm6.java. Class name, the file name should be same as the class name if only one class is there. But when two classes are there, which name I need to use? Okay, should I save this file as pgm6.java or should I save this as test pgm6.java? See, remember, in you have to use, you see where exactly you are storing the main method. Okay, you see, earlier in C you used to just write void main. Now you are supposed to add two additional keywords in front of main. Okay, okay, that is the public and static are the two additional keywords that you will be using in front of void main. So, and here you are supposed to use the class name string here, and along with you can use okay, an array of objects. This is called an array of objects. Okay, empty array of objects you can use here. So you see, when more than one class is there, you check where exactly you are writing the main method. How many main functions can be there in a C program? There can be only one main function. Similarly, there can be more than one class in a Java program, but there can be only one main method. Okay, so you see where exactly you will try to identify the class that contains the main method. Which is the class that contains the main method? It is test pgm6. Okay, is the class that stores the main method. So you have to save this file as test pgm6.java. You should not save this as pgm6.java. Okay, you should save this as test pgm6.java. Okay, so the file name, you are free to choose whatever name you want for the classes, but the file name should be same as that of the class name. When more than one class is there, identify where exactly the main method is there, and okay, use the class name that contains the main method as the file name. The class that contains the main method is testpgm6, so the file name should be testpgm okay 6.java. Actually, there are different ways in which you can execute your Java programs. Okay, you can use an IDE, or you can use okay, a standard way of executing your Java programs is to open a notepad. Okay, see here, I am trying to use a class called as class1. Okay, earlier I had left a space that results in error, so there cannot be space in the name. So class, public class 1, yeah. So you did not have to use the keyword public also. Okay, so I am using the keyword class, and I am using the name of the class is 1. Okay, or I will call this as a demo 1. Demo 1. So there are two words here. So first letter I am using a capital letter. Second word first letter, again a capital letter. I have used, okay, I have followed the conventions. So now you look here, I am trying to write a main method here. Okay, so instead of simply writing void main, in Java you are supposed to add 2 additional keywords. I can't cover these aspects now, because there are so many topics that I need to cover okay, in these sessions. So you are supposed to use the keywords public static in front of the main method. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, instead whenever you want to write main method, okay, you have to use this particular syntax. You see here, in most of the textbooks you will be using okay, and in most of the material that you find in the internet, okay, you will be using the name, you will find the name args. However, in the, did you see okay, did you see what I have given in my example? You see here, I have not used args here. Instead, I have used first letter of my name in lowercase. I have used, that is n here. So you are free to use any name, but you will be under, if suppose I try to use args even in my program, you will be under a feeling that it is always, because in most of the textbooks and in most of the material that you find on the internet, you will be finding these words, this word you will be finding args word. But okay, that gives a wrong feeling that you will be under the assumption that you should be always using args. However, it need not be args, it can be any name, right? So just to prove that particular point, in my examples I will be using some other name other than args. Okay, so it can be args or it can be any other name. So but you have to use the word string. Okay, SC is a capital letter. When you find, where you will find capital letter at the beginning? Only for a class name. See, demo is a class name. Demo 1 is a class name. So first word, first letter, uppercase. So here string, in the word string, you are finding S in uppercase. What does that mean? This is a built-in class. You have not written code for this particular class. The Java developers have already written code for this particular class, and they have also used the same conventions. Okay, they have also used the same conventions okay, that are being followed by all the Java programmers. So class names will always okay, have a capital letter at the beginning. So this being a class name, therefore yes should be in a uppercase. S should be an uppercase letter only. This is somewhat similar to your printf statement. Okay, you do not have the printf statement concept here. Instead, whenever you want to print something, this is what you are supposed to use. Here you are finding system, word system is there, and here you can find S in capitals. What does that mean? That means this is also a class, built-in class. Okay, so now I have written this particular code. Okay, what are you supposed to do? Open a notepad. Okay, type the given code, save. Okay, you can save anywhere. I have chosen the selected okay folder as D drive. be very careful. Choose the save as type as all files. Okay, by default it will be text documents. Choose all files here. And what is the file name that I need to use? It should be same as that of the class name, including the case. It should be same. So demo1 is the class name. There is only one class, so I need to use that class name. Demo, D was in capital, so I have used a D capital letter here. 1, O is capital, so I am using O as capital letter here. Now I need to give the extension Java. So I am now saving this file as demo1.java. Okay. So now what I do is I'll come to the command prompt. Okay, how do you open this command prompt? You all know. You have to just type here cmd. Okay, so you will be when you click on this open, you will get this particular window. So now you have to go to the place where you have stored your file. So where have I stored my file? In the D drive. So I gave D colon. So you can observe now I have got D colon here. So now what is the name of the file? What is the name of the file? Demo1.java. So I need to compile this program. So to compile, you are using what is called as the Java compiler. Java compiler is denoted by Javac. Okay, so Javac space. What is the name of the file? Demo1.java is the name of the file, right? So I will be now typing demo1.java. So okay, what is the meaning of this command? Okay, it is telling that you are trying to compile. You are supposed to compile a file called demo1.java. That is the meaning. Okay, Javac means Java compiler. So I am supposed to compile my program. So I have now hit the enter key. So you should not get any errors. You see now I did not get any errors. I have just compiled my program. I have to now execute my program. To execute your program, you have to use the command Java. Okay, so Java, name of the file. What is the name of the file? Demo1. Remember, now you are not supposed to use .java. Just use demo1. That is the name of the file. You don't use .java. Instead, just directly use the class name demo1. Hit the enter key. Okay. See, I am now getting the output. Hello is what is written inside these double quotes. So I am getting hello. Okay, in the output. So this is how you can execute your program by using a combination of two applications. That is the Notepad application where you can type your Java code. Okay, while saving, what is that you are supposed to remember? While saving, you should choose the save as type as all files, and you should type the file name should be same as the class name. Okay, with a .java extension. That is what you are supposed to keep. Okay, once you have saved your file, come to the command prompt. Here you can go to the place where you have stored your file by using appropriate number of cd commands. Then you have to type to compile your Java programs. You have to type Javac, then which file name, Java file name you have to give with the .java extension. Okay, when there are no errors, no errors are displayed, and when you don't get any errors, you are free to go to the next step. Next step is to execute your program. This is compiling your program. Next step is to execute your program. How to execute your Java program? Just give the word Java here, okay, and name of the file. Remember, you are not supposed to use .java here while executing. No .java. Okay, when I strike the enter key, I should be getting the output, that required output. This is standard way of executing your Java program. However, okay, trying to execute, trying to type your program somewhere and executing somewhere using commands, this is all these things will be difficult. So you can use what are called as IDEs. You have so many IDEs. Okay, the IDE that I am using here is this IDE is what? Is NetBeans. Okay, I am using what is called as NetBeans IDE. You can see from the title bar. So you can see the same program has been written here. I will now call this as demo1. The file name also should be changed. I will go to the name. I'm trying to change this. Earlier it was named as 1. I'm now calling this as demo1. Okay. Okay. It is trying to change the name. Okay. So now class name is demo1. File name is also demo1.java. You can see. Say I have saved my program here. Then click on that particular file. Choose run file option. Okay. You see I am getting the output in the same window. This is somewhat similar to your Turbo C++ or Dev C++ okay, IDE that you are using to run and execute your C programs. Similar to that kind of IDE, you have so many IDEs are there. You have NetBeans, you have Eclipse. Different people use different IDEs, but I have been using NetBeans since quite some time. Okay, I prefer using Notepad and command line. Okay, I mean command line combination. However, just to show you that you can also use IDEs like this, I showed the same program, executing the same program on NetBeans. Okay, so now let me come back to my slide. So here when more than one class is there, in the previous example there was only one class. Okay, here however there are two classes. So when more than one class is there, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to see where exactly main has been written. Okay, main has been written inside where pgm7 test is the name of the class that contains the main method. So the name that you should choose for the file name should be pgm7. P is in capitals. So pgm7, pgm. This is bit difficult. Okay, drawing here. pgm7 test.java is your file name. Test.java. That should be your file name. Is that clear? So when more than one class is there, okay, you have to use the name that is the class name that includes the main method should be used here, okay, in the file name. So you have to remember this particular aspect. Okay. So you see here in this particular example, there are two fields, X and Y are the fields, and two methods are there. Void show is one method, and there is another method here. If you observe this method carefully, you will notice so many things. What is the name of the class? pgm7. What is the name of this method? pgm7. You see here. So the name of the class and the name of this method are same. They are same. You observe. The name of this method is named as show. This is not same as a class name. But this method, okay, has same name as that of the class name, including the case. Everything is same. These dotted lines, dotted points you see, okay, at these two places you will find the same name. And this method has same name as that of the class, and a normal method will have a return type at the beginning. See, it can have a return type such as void show or int show, float show, something like that you will find if it is a normal method. But this is an abnormal method. You don't find any return type here. I'm not writing any return type similar to this void. Okay, there is no return type. So no return type. I will write an into symbol. There is no return type here in front of this particular method. So this is also a method. How do I say that this is a function or a method? How can I say that it is a method? Looking at the parentheses, I can say that it is a method. Okay, if I want to call a particular thing as method, you see, show is a method. How do I say that? Because there are parentheses. Here PGM7 also has parentheses, so this is also a method. So you have, for a method, you need to use these parentheses. Okay, so it is a special method. Even this is a method or a function, but why I am calling this special? Because the name of this method and the name of the class are the same. Unlike this method, which has a different name, this method has same name as that of the class. Okay, and unlike a normal method which will have a return type, this method doesn't have a return type. You will not find any return type here. So therefore, I call this method as special method. This is a special method. So how to define this is a special method? Why in two cases it is special? Why it is special? Why I am calling this as special? Because its name is same as that of the class, and unlike a normal function which has a return type, this function does not have a return type. So therefore I am calling this special. Okay, a special method whose name is same as that of the class, having no return type. And see, if I want to invoke this show, I am supposed to invoke this show. How am I invoking? You see, here I am creating an object. You observe now, whenever you are seeing a class, you have to assume this class. Now assume this class as a house. Okay, assume this class as a house, and assume this is your music player. Okay, assume void show is your music player. If you want to use your music player, okay, of your house, what do you need? You need a key, is it not? You need a key to enter this particular house. Assume this is the key. Okay, this is the key. To be able to access your items that are present within your house, you need a key. Similarly, to be able to access the items present within a class, so now to be able to access my music player, that is void show, what do I need? I need key. So the key is nothing but the object. Okay, similar to a key that exists for a house. Okay, similar to a key that exists for a house, you have, okay, for a class, if you consider class as a house, you have what are called as object. Object is the key for the class. Okay, so now I want to access the music player, that is show method. How I need to do? Okay, you need to use what is called as, you need to create, for which house you need the key? For PGM7 you need the key. So create the key now. How am I creating? Class name, I am using the second syntax. Class name PGM7, object name P is equal to new name of the same class, PGM7 brackets. Okay, so now I created an object called as P. P is nothing but the key now. So how can I access this my music player? Through the key I need to access. P dot, okay, P dot, what is the music player's name? Show. You see now, how am I accessing P dot show? How am I accessing show? My music player. To be able to access my music player, I need, okay, my the key of my house. The key of this house is P, is called as P. I am invoking P dot show. So now when I do that, this particular show method will be invoked. When this show method is invoked, what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to print X value and Y value. Okay, but you can ask me now, sir, X value is given with the value 20 and Y value is initialized with the value 100. Are we executing this this function? Are we calling? We are not calling this function at all. The constructor function we did not call. You see, you observe, I am not calling this function at all. I am directly calling show. Inside show, I am printing the values X and Y. Sir, to be able to access this X and Y, okay, I want these values to get first initialized. But why are we not trying to invoke this? you remember, even when you do not invoke the constructor explicitly, constructor is invoked automatically when this line is executed. That is, whenever an object is created, okay, here what am I trying to do? I am creating an object. Whenever an object is created, you see this particular portion, you observe name of the function, name of the class, followed by brackets are there. So brackets means what? You see, name of the class followed by brackets means what? It is called as a constructor. Okay, what is this called? It is called as a constructor. Why it is called default constructor means, okay, I am not passing any values to this function. So when you are not passing any values to the constructor, then it's called a default constructor. Okay, so when I am creating an object, what is going to happen? Here in the RHS, you will find the name of the class with brackets. See, this is not accepting any values, so I am not providing any values here within the brackets. If suppose this is accepting one integer value, I am supposed to pass one integer value here. If it is accepting two integer values, then I am supposed to pass two integer values in these brackets. Okay. So if you are prepared to eat 2 dosas, your mom should give you 2 dosas. If you are prepared to eat one masala dosa, your mom, this is you. Okay, this is your mom. Okay, you must, okay, your mom should give you one masala dosa. If you are prepared to eat one masala dosa, your mom should provide one masala dosa. So they are called as arguments, and these are called as parameters. What your mom provides you, they are called as arguments. What you receive, they are called as parameters. Okay, these are parameters, these are arguments. Because you are not ready to receive any parameters, you see, there are no parameters, your mom also is not giving you any arguments. Okay, so a constructor that does not accept any parameters is called as a default constructor. Did you all understand? See, when an object is created like this, what is going to happen? Automatically, it will invoke the constructor. Whenever an object is created, the constructor is invoked automatically. You don't have to invoke like this show. This is a normal function, the normal method. You have to explicitly invoke that method. Okay, you see here, only when I have invoked this show method is getting executed. However, I did not invoke this constructor. It got automatically invoked. When did this constructor get invoked? Whenever an object got created. Okay, whenever an object got created, okay, the constructor got invoked. How many times the constructor gets invoked? That depends on how many objects I am creating. Here, how many objects am I creating? I am creating one object called as P. So, how many times the constructor should be invoked? It is invoked only once. Now, what are the points that I told you regarding the constructors? I said constructor is a special method. I said this is a special method. Why I called this as special? Because, okay, its name is same as that of the class. Okay, similar to a normal method which will have a return type. You will not find a return type here. There is no return type here. Okay, no return type in front of this method, and its name is same as that of the class. It is also special because if it is a normal method like this, void show, you have to invoke show. But this is not a normal method. This is a special method. It is invoked automatically. When it is invoked? Whenever an object is created for the class, the constructor is invoked automatically. How many times this is invoked? That depends on how many objects I am creating. In this example, I am creating one object called as P. So this constructor is invoked only once. If I create 2 objects, the constructor is invoked twice. 3 objects, it is invoked 3 times, and so on. Okay, so what is the definition? Now I have told so many points regarding constructor. So let us now look at the definition that I have given here. A special method whose name is same as that of the class, having no return type, and which is invoked automatically whenever an object is created. And what it is doing, you see, what it is doing, what is the job that is being done here, what is happening inside. It is trying to give values to x and y. X and y are called what? X and y here, they are called as what I told. They are called as fields. They are called as what? Fields. So in the definition, you will be finding, and that initializes the fields of that class is called a constructor. What is happening here? What is happening here? It is trying to give some values to x and y. X and y are what? Fields. So that is called as, so that is called as, okay, so a constructor. A constructor is a special method whose name is same as that of the class. Okay, its name is same as that of the class, having no return type. There is no return type here, similar to this show. Show has the word void. That's the return type. There is no return type here in front of this method. And okay, it is invoked automatically. This one is invoked automatically whenever an object is created. When this statement is executed, this is invoked automatically. What is the purpose? What it is doing? It is trying to initialize the fields that are present in that particular class. So that is called as a constructor. So I hope you all have understood the definition now. Okay, instead of giving the definition at the beginning and then explaining the example, okay, I went the reverse way. I explained the example and now coming back to the okay, definition. So this is how you have to know the definition. What are the characteristics of a constructor? Its name will be same as the class. It is invoked automatically. It may or may not accept parameters. That is, you may eat idlis or dosas, or you may not eat at all. Okay, the number of times a constructor is invoked depends on what? How many objects I am creating. It will never have a return type at the beginning. But this point I did not tell. There can be one or more constructors in a single class. Okay, in the example that is shown, there is only one constructor. There can be more than one constructor in a single class. There can be more than one constructor in a single class. Okay, so in both the examples that are used here, okay, in this example, I have not written, it is not accepting any parameters, so this is called as a default constructor. When it is not accepting any parameters, it is called as a default constructor. And if it is accepting parameters, it's called a, you see here, the name of the class is PGM6. The name of this method is also PGM6. It is accepting two parameters. So you see here, while creating the object, how many values are being passed? Two values are being passed, 5 and 10. See, you are prepared to eat 2 masala dosas, 2 integers. Your mom should give you 2 masala dosas only. So these are the arguments and these are the parameters. Number of parameters and number of arguments must match. Then type of parameters and types of arguments also should match. That is, you are ready to eat 2 puris. Your mom should not give you 2 masala dosas. Right? The types also should be same and the number also should be same. So that is regarding a constructor. You see, in the previous example, what you saw was, in this example, you found a default constructor. This is not accepting any parameter. Here we are not passing. You are not ready to eat. Your mom is not ready to provide. Okay, that is default constructor. In this example, you are ready to eat 2 okay, puris. So your mom should give you 2 puris. You see here, how am I creating the object? So the number of arguments, number of parameters should match. Types of arguments and types of parameters also should match. Okay, what is the job that is being done? It is trying to initialize. Any constructor should initialize the fields. You see, X and Y are the fields of this class. They are getting initialized. In this example, they are initialized with the default values. X is always initialized with 20. Y is always initialized with 100. However, here what is happening? X is getting initialized with P and y is getting initialized with this q. So that is a parameterized constructor, and you can write more than one constructor in a single class. That option also is there. So I hope now you have